So today we got to talk about Twitter beef. Ohio State, Oklahoma, recruits, Emeka Egbuka. I'm here for this. Oh, it's coming up after the bumper.
Don't be cornering me. Hold up. Time. You gotta help me with that corner
What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. It's always college football related, sports related. We have a good time today. I want to talk about Twitter beef. I want to talk about recruiting. I want to talk about Emeka Egbuka and Caleb Williams and Tumise Adeleye and Evan Pryor and Ben Christman. And I have, open invitations out to both Caleb Williams and Ben Christman about talking about this very subject on the channel. So, gentlemen, balls in your court, as they say, or, on your side of the field, punt it to you, whatever you want to do with it, whatever analogy you want to make. Because Ben Christman has been basically the glue for this Ohio State recruiting class, and I'm very excited to talk about him saying, happy to announce my official campaign to recruit Emeka Egbuka and Tristan Lee to the Ohio State University. I ask that you please tweet out the hashtag Mecca to Columbus and hashtag Tristan to Columbus to help out my campaign. Could you imagine how many points this offense would rack up? 6'6", 300-pound Ben Christman can play guard, can play tackle, probably can play center. The man is not much for pass blocking, and yet he's out here trying to finish out what is probably going to end up being an historic class, right? They're sitting at over 305 points with 19 commits in the boat. They get a Tristan Lee. They get an Emeka Egbuka. They're basically a JT Tuimala away from securing the best recruiting class of all time. So Caleb Williams is the five-star quarterback, number one quarterback in this class, and he really wants to throw passes to Emeka Egbuka. We should note here, Egbuka is the number one wide receiver in the country, out of Washington. Feels like Clemson, Ohio State, Oklahoma, and Washington, his home state, are the folks who are going to be vying for his services, to which Caleb Williams comes over the top of Ben Christman's tweet saying hashtag Mecca to Columbus. It just don't look right. Sorry, Ben. But that crimson and cream on them, wow. Scarlet and Gray versus Crimson and King. Last time that game was played, Oklahoma planted a flag. It's hanging on my wall. Y'all know what time it is, right? I love the Ohio State kiddos. I love what that team can be, but I got my master's from Oklahoma. I live in Oklahoma. You know what time it is. Tumise Adeleye, one of my favorite kids, comes over the top with that natty ring. Finna look right, though. It's nice to be committed to a school who's won one in the last 10 years. Yikes. Tumise coming off the top rope with the people's elbow talking about, and then clink. Now, to be fair, it was 2014 the last time at Ohio State won a national championship game. That said, Oklahoma ain't won a national championship in 20 years, and Oklahoma has never made the national final in the college football playoff era. We're also talking about the last time that Oklahoma had a top 5 recruiting class was 2010. That's 11 years ago. But if they were able to get a Kamara Wheaton and a Caleb Williams and a Emeka Egbuka, they could finish top 5 right there in that upper 5 threshold with Ohio State. To which Caleb Williams comes over the top of Tumise's tweet and says, newsflash, you weren't a part of any of those. Wow. And your coach doesn't have one either. But you took that way too serious when it's social media, and I'm joking with Ben. Like I have before in the past, not you, Adeleye, but have a nice day, my guy. Wow. And then Evan Pryor, who is one of the 2 running backs committed to the Iowa State class, comes on top talking about, come on, you can't be serious, Caleb. To which Caleb comes back over the top of Evan Pryor and says, your mans came off way too strong for no reason, had to respond. Okay. There's a lot going on here, and these kiddos are fast becoming my favorite TMZ beef going on. Like, this is a rapper beef, because I really think that there's mostly love here. Like, I think there's mostly love here. But I really want to see the 2021 Oklahoma class get on the field against the 2021 Ohio State class in like 2022, 2023, when both are seasoned and ready to get after this. And maybe it'd be in the college football playoff, maybe if we for a national championship game, because then worlds be colliding for me, man. Like, I did not know that I was going to have this much fun watching teenagers go back and forth at each other on Twitter. But you know how it is. I love college football recruiting, and I love the kiddos that make it up, because the stories like this one are awesome. They're all over the place. And when I get to talk to them on the phone, like in front of you for public, it's even better. You learn things about Reed Carrico, like he's a 40-year-old, 17-year-old. Like he plays ball like he's stuck in the 60s, right? And I dig that dude, right? Where Caleb Williams just smooth and understands. And he's not going to settle for a redshirt season if he thinks that he can battle with the likes of Rattler and Chandler Morris and, if he's still there, Tanner Mordecai, and whoever they follow up with, maybe Quinn Ewers for his starting job. He's not afraid of competition. He's also come from way behind to win championships. He did it against DeMatha as a sophomore at Gonzaga. So, I'm excited about this because I think that, perhaps it's Twitter. So reading words is difficult because I know that sometimes I read the harshest way that you could actually read somebody's tweet without any sarcasm whatsoever, and I feel like it's an attack on me. And then that person will be like, yo, man, I was just joking. I'd be like, glad you said that because I totally didn't think you was joking. But in this day and age, when you're both pursuing the number one wide receiver in the class, and then you couch that with Oklahoma picked up the number one wide receiver in 2019, Jado Hazelwood, and then Ohio State picked up the number one wide receiver in the 2020 class in Julian Fleming, you can understand why the two want to have the number one wide receiver in 2 out of 3 years in Emeka Egbuka. And Egbuka seems to be slow playing his recruitment because we'll see whether or not Washington gets to play high school football. Knowing that California is not going to play high school football, it's up in the air. But Texas just announced they're going to push back the start of their high school football season by a couple of weeks, and they're going to get out there and play while having remote learning. I also think it's fascinating that we're talking about Caleb Williams leading the charge as opposed to an offensive lineman and Ben Christman leading the charge, right? Not to say that Kyle McCord wouldn't want to play with Emeka Egbuka, but Egbuka's been a lean to Ohio State for some time, but it seems like with Dennis Simmons and the virtual visit that Oklahoma really made up some ground. And when you take into account Dennis Simmons and that Oklahoma's had 2 wide receivers drafted in the first round in the last 2 years, and then you add to that Ohio State hasn't had a first-round draft pick at wide receiver since 2007. And Ted Ginn Jr. is Father Time, so he's still playing. But the other dude, Anthony Gonzalez, been out of football so long he ran for office, right? Now to which Ohio State stands be like, yo, man, Michael Thomas is 99 overall in Madden. Come on, man. He set the record for receptions in a season. You don't slay us like that. I get you. But this is what we got, right? Especially in July, and we're not really sure about how football is going to go. We already have lost marquee games on the schedule because the Big Ten and the Pac-12 decided they were going to go conference only, which means we lose USC, Alabama, and we lost Oregon, Ohio State, among others, right? BYU lost 5 games. They were going to play the Big Ten West and kind of roll through there. We lost Arkansas State, Michigan State, which I wanted to really see because I thought Blake Barnett's team had an opportunity. Well, Blake Anderson, not Blake Barnett. Blake Barnett is a trash quarterback that once played at Alabama. Anyway, point is, I'm here for these discussions about who's going to get Emeka Egbuka and how, because this is just wild. This is so much fun. This is awesome. Yeah, totally. Let's have more of this. Let's get more of this going. Let's get some more conversation, some more trash talk, because Egbuka's going to do what Egbuka's going to do, but if he can be swayed by one of the two of you, I'm here for that story, because as with all things, I really love telling the stories. It's fun. All right, that is it for me. Deuces.